You guys, welcome back to my channel, Sugar Salon TV. This is a beginner-friendly tutorial on crochet braids. Beginner-friendly. If you've never done it, you can learn it right here today. Crochet braid tutorial with any kind of crochet braid hair. So here's the latch hook. Not my favorite hook, but here we go. You want to open the latch, just like you see me with it's open. And then you want to slide it through the braid. Slide it through. There you go. You slide it through. Then you put you attach the hair. You put the hair inside the open latch, and then you close the latch, and then you slide it back through the opposite direction, and then you tie it about 3 or 4 times. When you tie it, that's what's gonna hold it in. These are the steps. You're gonna slide the open latch hook through the braid. Then you're gonna open the latch, make sure it's open. You're gonna place the hair inside of the open latch. You're gonna close the latch with the hair inside, and then you're gonna pull the latch through, and then you're gonna tie it in 3 or 4 knots. Slide it through with it open, put the hair inside the open latch, close the latch, pull it through, and then you're gonna tie the hair in 3 or 4 knots. 3 or 4 knots. Okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Open the latch. I'm showing you that the latch is open. Slide it through the braid. Put the hair inside the open latch, close the latch, pull it through, and then tie it 3 or 4 times. You guys, it's that simple. And you can scan this QR code with your phone to subscribe to my channel. Once you scan it, it's going to take you to my home page from my YouTube channel, and just press the subscribe button. Slide the open latch through, put the hair inside the open latch, close the latch, and pull it through. And then tie it 3 or 4 times. That's simple, you guys. No matter what kind of hair you're using, whether it's curly hair, whether it's crochet boho braid hair, no matter what kind of crochet hair it is, you're going to open the latch. You're going to slide the latch through the braid. You're going to put the hair inside the open latch. You're going to close it and then pull the latch through on the opposite side and tie it in about 3 or 4 knots. You can watch again. I got the latch open. You're going to slide the open latch through, put the hair inside the open latch, close the latch, pull it through, and then tie it in about 3 or 4 knots. Now, you guys, for me, the way that I determine how many knots I'm going to tie it in is based on the texture of the crochet hair. It's based on what kind of crochet braid hair it is, yada da. Because, you guys, some of the crochet braid hair is very silky, and some of it has more texture. The hair that I'm using right here is one of my favorites, and it has some texture. And when crochet braid hair has texture, when you tie it in about 3 knots, you good, because you know the knot is not going to slide or loose. And so, you guys, whenever you're doing crochet braids, you have to be cognizant of the braiding or the crochet braiding hair that you use. Because the hair that is silky, if it's silkier hair, when you tie it about 3-4 knots, you can even do 6 knots. Sometimes the knot will come loose. So that's why, whenever my clients, when they get crochet braids, a lot of times I'm kind of hesitant for them to bring their own hair, because I've had clients bring hair and the hair is silky. And then when I'm tying it in the knot will come loose. So clients, they don't even know that can occur, because people are usually not at home doing their own crochet braids. So You know, that's why usually with crochet braids, you know, I prefer people just get the hair from me. I mean, to me, it's better. You don't have to worry about going to get hair. You don't have to worry about ordering hair online. But you know, every once in a while, once in a blue moon, somebody will want to bring their own hair. And I've had people bring their own hair before, and then the hair, even though the hair is curly, it's silky. And they have ordered it online somewhere, and they're not a hairstylist, so they don't know, they don't even think it matters. And so they will come in with hair, and then when I tie it in a knot like you see me doing, the knot will come right back loose. And in all honesty, they will sell you the hair online. So if you don't know, and so that's why I'm really kind of hesitant of people bringing their own hair. Now they do have that prerogative to bring it. Now the only other way, if a hair is too silky that you know it'll come loose, the only other way to keep it tied is to put a drop of nail glue. Once you tie the knot, put a drop of nail glue. But I don't like doing that because I don't want to get nail glue in somebody's hair. So I know the textures of hair to purchase that will tie and stay tied. So you saw that I tied this hair 3 times and it stayed tied. So once I get a good amount of hair in there, or once I completely finish the whole head, I put some mousse on it, I put some leave-in on it, and I put some serum on the hair. And then if it's hair like this texture, then I will take each piece and kind of separate it. Because people are very particular about crochet hair. Like some people don't want too much in there. Some people don't want too much hair. Because crochet braids, it can end up looking like really big hair. Like it can be big. And some people don't want that big crochet braid hair look. So it just, you know, it depends on the clients. Like some clients like big hair and some don't. So it all depends on, you know, like what kind of look you're going for. And some people don't want that big crochet look. Now, I mentioned on another video that I'm going to drop that video down in the description box below. You can look at that video as well. But I'm pretty much saying that you got to be very cognizant about the type of hair that you're using. I also said in that video that you also have to be cognizant if a client's hair is very thin, meaning it could be thin from hair loss, or it can be thin the opposite of thick. Like some people just have very soft, fine hair. So it's a challenge when doing crochet braids, because when people have hair loss or their hair texture is kind of fine, or if their hair is thin, then when you cornrow the hair, even if you add braiding hair into the cornrow, because their hair is so fine or so thin, or they have hair loss, their cornrows are going to be far apart. They're not going to be close together. Like if someone had very thick hair, you braid up, cornrow up their hair, their cornrows are going to be kind of close together because they have thick hair. But if someone has fine, soft texture hair, or if their hair is not thick at all, or they have hair loss, then when you do the cornrows for the crochet braids, their braids or cornrows are going to be so far apart. So when you start crocheting and adding in this crochet braid hair, a lot of their scalp is going to be showing. So, you know, you either can use some tightly curled hair like this hair. That's the only way you're going to be able to cover up that scalp. Because if the curl pattern of the crochet braid hair is kind of loose, a looser curl, then it's going to be more of a challenge to cover up the scalp. You know, you'll be able to cover up the braid. I think in my other video, I mentioned that it'll be a challenge to cover up the braid. I meant to say it's going to be a challenge to cover the scalp, because you don't want the scalp to show. Now, with a tighter curl pattern like this, then you can definitely cover it up. But, you know, that's why everybody is not a great candidate for crochet braids. So now, you guys, I'm putting some serum in here and I'm putting it in my hands. I'm emulsifying it. I'm running it through this hair. And so I just wanted to add some moisture to the hair. So what I did, again, you saw me spray some leave-in in there. And then I put some mousse on there. And now I'm putting serum on there. So now I'm going to do some more. I didn't do a whole head because I'm just doing this as a tutorial. So you really don't need me to do the entire head. So I corn rolled it up in advance before I started the video. And then I'm doing this. Another tip, you guys, again, as far as how many times you tie it, again, it's going to depend on the texture. This hair right here, I love. It's one of my favorite brands to use. And if you stay to the end of this video, I will make sure I mention what the brands are that I like, the brands I like. And one of the brands that's not really my favorite, and to me, it's kind of more of a challenge to use that brand of hair. So now I'm showing you from a top view, the top of the head of the mannequin. And so again, you guys, if you can drop a comment down below, just telling me what it is, what other tutorials you would like to see. Um, if it's something I know how to do, then I will definitely make a tutorial. So your suggestions are appreciated. That's how I know what you want to see. So again, you see me tying it like 3 times. And I know I can do that because I'm very familiar with this brand of hair. So some brands of hair, it's best to separate the hair because sometimes the pieces of hair are so thick with the crochet braid hair that you want to go ahead. So my favorite brands are going to be, I'm going to mention them at the end of this video. So I'm just continuing. And then too, you guys, another tip too is if you're crochet braiding, if you're doing crochet braids, it's better to start in the front as opposed to starting in the back of the head, especially if you're not sure if you're going to have enough hair. Now, if you know you got way more than enough hair, you good, you can start wherever you want to start. But if you're not sure if you're going to have enough hair or not, start in the front of the head, because if you start in the front, then you're good, because when you get to the back, all the other hair is going to cover up the back anyway. So usually if I'm on a client and I'm not sure, if I'm thinking I may just so happen to run out of hair, then I'm always going to start in the front. Because to be honest, you guys, people have different head sizes, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm not trying to be facetious here. But some people have small heads, some people have larger heads, and usually if someone has a larger head, then I'm going to try to put less braids in their head, as less braids that I can, because the more cornrows I put, then the more that I'm going to have to put more hair in their head. So if I put a lot of cornrows in there, that means I'm going to have to put a lot of hair in their head. And if their head is already on the larger size, and then I'm looking at the hair I got, and again, people don't want a whole bunch of hair in their head. So if I have a client with a larger head and they're getting crochet braids, I do not, number one, want to run out of hair, and number two, I don't want to put so much hair in their head that it looks just, ridiculous. So if someone has a larger head, what I normally do is I do 2 braids, like you saw in my other crochet braid video that I'm going to link down below in the description box, and you can watch that. I make a part straight across from ear to ear, and then in the front to the ear, I take those 2 braids, I make 2 cornrows, and then I connect them from the ear to the nape of the neck. I connect them into 1 braid. So I take 2 braids and then I make it into 1 braid in the back. That will mean that there's less cornrows in the back of their head. From behind the ear to the nape of their neck, there's less braids, less cornrows. So what that means is there's less hair to put back there. So again, I do that usually if the person has a larger size head, or if I'm trying to use less hair. With experience, which I have, you kind of know what to do in what situation. So again, sometimes people just have small heads and sometimes people have larger heads. So you got to be cognizant of that too. And then, I've been doing hair quite a while, so I'm cognizant of that. And then you don't want to use up so much hair. Because most of the time, on average, you can put maybe 3, 4 packs of hair in somebody's head. But if it's curly hair that's kind of tightly curled like this, you don't even have to put that much. Because you see, I didn't put that much hair in this mannequin's head. And you see that I kind of spaced the hair. I didn't put the hair so close together. Because if you end up putting it too close together, sometimes people can say, oh, that's too much hair. So usually when I'm doing somebody's hair, especially a new client, I usually stop a couple times and let them take a look. Because sometimes you'll finish a whole service and someone may say, oh, that's too much hair or something. So I try to be proactive whenever I can. Especially if it's a new client or if it's a client who never had crochet braids or never, had a particular service and I'm doing it on them for the first time. Because sometimes, women can see stuff, on other people or see it in a magazine or see it online or see it on social media and they can be like, oh, I want that. Oh, I got to get that. And then when you put that on them, and they see it on themselves and then they be like, ooh, that's too much hair. Can you cut out some of this hair? Or something like that. So sometimes you don't really know what you're going to like if you never had it. So I try to be kind of proactive as much as I can by just kind of letting the client see, take a look at their hair every now and then. If I usually I try to do that unless I'm so tired or just busy and don't remember to do that, but usually I do. So now you guys, I've ran the mousse through it. I ran the serum through it. I've sprayed some leave-in on it. So I'm just kind of finger combing it with my fingers. I kind of separated it already. And you see, I really haven't even done a half a head. And you see how cute this looks. And I didn't space it so close together. And it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. So I'm just kind of trimming it up right here. Kind of put a little bit of layers in it. So you guys, this hair, the brand is called Apri. A-P-R-I Natural. Apri Natural. It's one of my favorites because of the texture. It's easy to tie the hair off. It's believable. You can just tie it 3 times and you good. It is one of my favorite brands. Now, one of my least favorite brands is Free Tress. Now, the reason the Free Tress is one of my least favorite brands is because when it's hair like this, their hair is just very, very challenging to separate the hair. Like it gets tangled up, it gets messy. Even though Free Tress is a popular brand, I don't care for it. Another brand that I like is Lulu Tress. It's Lulutress, Lulu Tress. I love that hair too because it's easy to separate, it's soft, etc. I hope you guys learned something. Give me a thumbs up. I'm going to see you on the next tutorial. Peace and blessings.